Hello beautiful people of the world, welcome back to my channel. Today I have to fold a bunch of laundry, you know, mom life for you. And I figured I would do a little bit of a chatty fold laundry with me, talking about how our 18-month sleep regression hit our family. So to start off with, we didn't hit that many sleep regressions. We only hit the 3-month one and the 18-month one. I know, the worst one of all pretty much. And it happens differently for each child. Let me go get coat hangers 1 second. Like I was saying, it can happen differently for each and every child, but for us it came early. So for Addison's sleep regression, it started around 17 months, and they can last anywhere between a week to about 6 weeks. For us it lasted maybe about 5 weeks, and at the same time she had her teeth coming in, the back ones and the 2 fangs, I guess you call them, and she had her 18-month immunizations all at the same time. So it was a lovely time, to say the least. No, it was not enjoyable for anyone, including Addison. So how did we survive it? To start off with, let me explain kind of what went on. So Addison has been sleeping through the night since 14 months. She's had no issue sleeping through the night, and she is still nursing during the night, she is still nursing at nighttime and in the morning when she wakes up. So she started around 17 months waking up at night, and normally we did sleep train Addison, so normally she knows how to put herself back to sleep. She kind of just will fuss and roll around a little bit, and then she'll find a comfortable position and fall asleep. Now with the sleep regression, the issue was she couldn't fall back asleep. She's now able to put together sentences. She's been learning a lot of new things. She's learning how to climb and get out of her crib. So a lot of stuff has been going on mentally with her. And she's been hitting so many milestones at once that her brain is just overloaded. So it was hard for her to fall back asleep. You would hear her on the monitor calling like mommy, daddy, and like calling for us in the middle of the night because she just wanted to play and get up and do stuff, and she couldn't fall asleep. And Addison's also at the age where she started to do tantrums. So this is why it's so difficult, because she would literally just be in bed screaming. And I don't mean screaming in a way that she was in pain. She was not hurt. There was nothing wrong. But because she's at the tantrum age, she knows that if she screams, like screeches, we will come, because we don't want her to be screaming at 3 o'clock in the morning and waking up everybody. She knows that. Just like if she has a tantrum in the middle of the grocery store, she knows she'll get what she wants most of the time because we're in the middle of the grocery store. You know, that's how kids kind of do it. They test their parents a little bit. So she was kind of testing us a little bit to see when we'd come in and what things she would do that would cause us to come in and check on her. So she would scream, and at that point, like I said, it was 3 in the morning, and she would be like, ah, like on the top of her lungs, just like, ah, and then like keep doing it because she wanted us to come in, like, mommy, like calling like that. So I would go in there and I would nurse her. So she'd fall asleep, and it was kind of like when she was little again. The second I put her down and let go, just as I was turning around to step out of the room, she would lose her mind. She would be screaming, crying, mommy, mommy, mommy. And she was fine. Like, there was nothing actually wrong with her. At first I thought she was sick because I didn't even think. She didn't hit really any sleep regressions. So I just assumed it was just like she was sick maybe. So the first few nights I actually thought something wrong. I kept going back in there and checking on her, which just like for me, that's what I do. I know different people do things differently. But for me, I went in and checked on her because I didn't know what was going on. And then I eventually realized, like, this is not normal for her. Like, this must be the sleep regression, and it sure was. But, so what I had to do, sorry, there's just people on the roof over there, and I was very surprised for a second. So what I had to do is kind of sleep train all over again in a way. Addison knows how to put herself to sleep. At night, I will nurse her and I'll lay her down awake, and she will fall asleep by herself. She'll either fuss a little bit for a few minutes, or she'll just roll over with her little piglet stuffed animal and go to sleep. And that's normally what happens most nights. But now what was doing is she wasn't able to put herself to sleep. It must just be because her brain is just going quite crazy, thinking of all these cool things she's been learning and all these fun times she's been having. But it was really hard for her to fall asleep, and she would be tired. We would tire her out. She would be crying and asking for night-nights. She asked for it. She would go upstairs and be ready for it, but she couldn't wind down. So what we had to do was cut out a few things and really enforce the bedtime routine. This is what's helped us and saved us. Enforcing that bedtime routine. It generally takes about 4 to 5 days for a child or baby to get into a routine state of mind, kind of, and thinking something's a routine. And So what we had to do is really make sure we were giving her a bath every night to calm her down. I was giving her a bubble bath because she started not liking baths. And we would read a story, we would sing a song because she was learning all these nursery rhymes and stuff at daycare. And then we would, you know, nurse and say goodnight. And there's a lot of times where it's a good idea with children, I mean depending on your child, to set up a certain thing that to them signals that it's time for bed. So for Addison, because I nurse her sometimes in the morning and stuff, it wasn't nursing. So I would nurse her, and while I'm nursing her, we would turn on her sound machine. She listens to white noise and her nightlight. That way she knows. She would always say like night night when she sees that. And then her and her dad would go and they would turn off the light together. So Addison would turn off the light. So she is turning off the light, the sound machine and the nightlight is on. She knows it's time for bed. And then I would nurse her and put her down and I just say good night, I love you, go to bed. And that started working a little bit. She was able to put herself to sleep, but when she woke up in the night is where we struggled. And some nights she was screaming so much we thought she was injured. We took her out of bed, she wouldn't stop crying. We were holding her and nursing her, nothing. She didn't want to nurse. I thought she was done nursing at that point. She didn't even want me. She was pushing me away. She was pushing Dayton away. She was just crying, crying, crying. And we didn't know what was going on. And I think it was her teeth. And that was also right after her immunizations. So all I did those 2 nights, I sat up in the, we had like a chair where I nursed her in her bedroom. I put my feet up on the bed, sat in the chair, took a pillow and a blanket, and I held her the night. And I just slept there holding her. Because I didn't know if it was the immunizations, I think that's what it was making her not well, mixed in with her sleep regression and her teeth. And at that point I knew something wasn't really normal with her there, like something was up. It wasn't just the sleep regression, but I think that didn't help at all. And then the next morning, Dayton chatted with me like, we can't do this. You can't just keep sleeping in her room every night like this. She used to co-sleep and we didn't want her to get back in the routine that takes a few days to set in. So I knew like I couldn't do this anymore, and she was fine now that her immunizations were like 4 days before that. So I decided we would have to sleep train all over again, and we had to let her fuss it out at nighttime when she woke up. And I can't sleep when she's crying. I honestly cannot. My heart can't. So I would just sit there by her room listening to her cry, calling for us. And I know she's okay, and I know that people have different opinions about this. She would not be crying as in she's hurt. I would say it's more fussing. So kind of just like, like that kind of thing. And those are the noises she would make. And honestly, it was difficult, but she was able to put herself back to sleep. And if I went in there, she would not sleep. She would want to go downstairs and play, which has happened in the past as well. So that's what helped us with our sleep regression. Another thing that really I found helped is she went through a little bit of a growth spurt, so I gave her oatmeal right before bed, and I started making these bedtime smoothies. I would just put a banana, some vitamin C special juice thing that I get from the grocery store, and then I would put like strawberries and blueberries and stuff like that. And I think that really helped as well because it gave her a bunch of nutrition before bed. I don't really know the science behind that. I just thought it seemed to help because I gave it to her every night and she started sleeping better. And I also gave her a bowl of oatmeal to fill her belly up before bed and before I nursed her. So I would give her I call it her bedtime smoothie. She would have some oatmeal, and then we would do her bedtime routine with her bath and everything. Another thing that I saw really helps for children is, I know this might not work in your family, but cutting out television and like screen time an hour before they go to bed. This way their brain can kind of wind down a little bit. And this means that Dayton and I had to turn off the TV for, if he was watching TV, he had to turn it off as well if Addison was in the room, because otherwise we would catch her watching it, you know? So I think that also made a big difference for her. And I just noticed it's really hard for her to wind down. Now we're out of the sleep regression. She's back sleeping through the night, thank goodness. Hopefully now that I'm saying this, she's going to actually sleep tonight. But that's how we beat the 18-month sleep regression. And let me tell you, it was hard. And I'm working still too, so it was really hard to do. But us parents and caregivers are champs. These children, you know, they don't do it to be mean. They love us. They need us to be there to nurture them and take care of them. And I just wanted to say, you are all amazing. Whether you are a mother, a grandmother, a father, just a caregiver, a guardian, you are amazing. This child loves you so much, or children, and you're doing a wonderful job, so keep it up. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye! And all my laundry's done! Woo! You know how fun that is. Literally, I'll do laundry and then just leave it to like fold for days. It's bad. So I thought I may as well chat with you guys. while I do it.